amount of prep due to. I would be very curious to see how he explains, um,
Ryan comes in
Rome
1 second.
being predicted,
A minute or
and
so.
also that 7-year Jewish-Roman War. So I've got a few more of those debate podcasts coming up. I did Genetic Entropy the other day. We had the award-winning moderator, Praise I Am, rocking out the moderation. So after those, yeah, I'd like to dedicate some time and see what kind of arguments Josh Bowen has. So
Well, I can already tell you, it just comes down to scholars, what they say. They're going to try to give arguments for like Semitic words that Daniel uses, like Aramaic words and stuff that were later on, that shows it's a later addition. He's going to show how he's going to try to make it look like it was embellished, like all this stuff was embellished. And so you would have to battle some of that stuff. But how about March? How about like March, the middle of March? Because I talked to him on email.
It's funny because Beckel's in there, and that's okay. That's up to him. That's up to them. Blah blah. Right. But Ryan turns up in a minute. Beckel's always turning up in there anyway to butt suck. But Ryan will be here in a second.
I'll just let him know, like, hey, Josh, middle of March. If he says where, though, like, would you want it on your channel, or would you come to my channel and do it? Like, what would you? The venue,
I mean,
does that matter?
if you were the one arranging it, doing all the work, setting it up, and you wanted it on your channel, I mean, I'd have no problem with that. I'd advertise it on mine, and then I would, and we could do it on yours officially, where you could moderate.
Oh man, like that's like that is like a dream come true, because I think that you could battle him with so many things, man. Because and then like if you took him down, then like you would be heralded as like the champion of this whole freaking YouTube community.
See, I'd want to see how he would respond. So basically, your typical atheist. Obviously, this is Josh Bowen. He's got a PhD in this kind of stuff. And so if you notice here, you've got the first was like a lion, right? Here's your 4 great kingdoms predicted right up on screen. So first was the lion. We know that was Babylon, right? Had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked. It was lifted up from the earth.
Yeah, Beckel. I mean, this is pathetic. SFT equals beast. Yeah, because Praise I Am and Standing for Truth both think that they are lions, and they care not what the sheep think. Yeah. Ugh, truth.
Made upon the feet as a man, so on and so forth. Right here, so basically Babylon, and then would you have your Medes and Persians? And behold, another beast, a second like a bear. But notice how it raised up itself on one side. Well, that's because one kingdom was actually, so it was basically a 2-part kingdom, your Medes and your Persians, and one was more powerful than the other. Okay. And so basically you have Babylon, Medes, Persians, but then notice this for Greece. And after this, I beheld and lo, another like a leopard. And then it's, I believe it's in Daniel. Is it Daniel 8, or is it where it compares? I've got it here. It also compares Alexander the Great and the Grecian Empire to a goat that's basically running so fast it's not even touching the ground. Here it's a leopard, because historically Alexander the Great is known as, for its speed and its ability to conquer vast areas of land quickly. I mean, Alexander the Great was a powerful leader, right? And then what do we have? The 4th kingdom. And I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly. And notice this, it had great iron teeth. I mean, this is before Rome came up. Josh Bowen would even have to agree with this if he's placing the dating of this in 3rd century BC. Rome historically is known as what? Your iron empire. They're known for great iron, great armory, weaponry. So what I find interesting, They want to split this up, though, because they can't admit that this is Rome, right? So they have to say, well, your kingdoms are actually Babylon, the Medes, Persia, and then Greece. So they're going to try and say this is Greece, the Grecian Empire. But the Grecian Empire was already mentioned here with the leopard. They're trying to split up this. Do you see what I'm saying, Praise? So I'd like to see how Josh Bowen justifies breaking up your second kingdom into two in order to basically make the fourth one not Rome. They can't admit that this is a fulfilled prediction. He has to somehow make Greece the fourth kingdom. But I'd want to ask him, well, Greece is down here. So the Grecian Empire is mentioned twice? Doesn't make any sense. What are your thoughts on that, Praise? What do you think he'd say to that?
Well, he would try to misdirect it and try to get it off on something else, like with like dating and stuff. Like he always has these escape hatches, like he appeals to with scholarship, because I think he has archaeological background too, so he would probably go into that. But how about like March 24th is like the last Friday of March? Would that be something suitable for you?
Well, it's such a big debate that I have to do a lot of work for. It'd be a different debate than I'm normally used to. So I don't want to agree to a date right now. You know, I don't want to put too much on the plate.
I want to get this on the road, man. I do. I want to see this come down. This is like Mike Tyson versus like freaking Foreman, you know, or something like that. I would love to see that debate.
What would be the thesis that Daniel's now would it be
prophetical? Yeah.
Okay, so would we be dealing with just the 70 weeks of Daniel, and so we'd really be focusing on Messiah and also Titus?
That's what I would, yes, because you're really good with that part of it.
Okay, so we probably wouldn't even focus on, and this is where I found the comparison. So Daniel 8, the Medo-Persian Empire is compared to, notice how the bear was higher on one side. So when he talks about the Medo-Persian Empire again, Praise, notice what he says. There stood before the river a ram, which had two horns, and the two horns were high, but one was higher than the other. Because again, your Persian Empire was more powerful than your Medes, right? So for Josh Bowen to split them up into two separate doesn't make any sense, because right here. So yeah, I mean, again, it would be an interesting debate because I'd be interested to see how he would deal with these. Like I already know what their arguments are, but I'd like to see how he responds basically to my points. And so, you know, that's
70 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. So we'd focus on 70 weeks.
And what's up, Ryan? Welcome. It's been a while. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming in.
Hello, Praise.
Just perfect. So quick.
Hello, Praise. Because I believe that they have had conversations more than any of us ever realised. That's up to them. I wasn't even going to come here, but there was nothing else live. I just thought I'd pop in and see if it's still toxic, and it is, I think. Oh, Chris Lucas. Others who agree with Donny haven't studied enough to catch that.
Question: do you believe Daniel 9:27, the he, is Messiah or Antichrist?
Yeah, I wasn't here to discuss the subject of Daniel. I was
just
here mainly to discuss.
What's your position on the matter, though?
I was mainly here to discuss the subject of the atonement. I don't really have much interest in engaging in this subject.
How do you view Daniel 9:27? Do you not have a position on it?
Well, why do you want to know what I think about Daniel?
Are you ashamed? Are you ashamed of what you believe about certain passages in the Bible? I've got it right up here.
I'm asking you specifically why you want to know what I believe about.
The reason why, because I've seen you with Jamie talk smack, talk trash about my eschatology, and side with him on Daniel 9:27, even though Jamie has been schooled over and over again, and all he can do is dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge, the 5 Ds of dodge. Well, I want to see you back up. I want to see you back up your posturing. What do you believe
yelling
is in Daniel 9:27?
Yeah, yelling at me is not going to assert whether you're right or wrong. I don't concur with the Adventist position. You ought to know that. I'm not.
Who is the he of Daniel 9:27? If you can't answer a basic
I
question,
don't
why did
want
you
to
join?
discuss this subject with you. I didn't come on the panel to discuss that.
Ryan is an amillennial, isn't that right? You're amillennialist.
What a throw off!
Yeah,
Who
he's
say what now?
probably an
Who said what?
amillennialist,
Who
and he
said
believes
that?
so he probably believes that Satan's on a bungee cord right now. He's bound in the bottomless
Satan
pit.
on
He's
a
on a
bungee
bungee cord,
cord?
you know. He can
Okay,
deceive,
so
just
go-
not a whole lot of deception, right, Ryan?
Well, then go say that to Matt Slick or Anthony Rogers.
Anthony Rogers and Matt Slick, if they're amil, then it's a very sloppy eschatological position. I refute it in my book and I refute it in my series. I don't care. I'm not
so
a
what?
respecter of persons. Okay.
No, I'm
It
saying
also
if you're
completely
going
goes
to say
against
I'm
the fact.
disqualified and all that crap, then go say that to Anthony Rogers and Matt Slick.
Listen, dude. Proving a 70th week of Daniel completely demolishes post-millennialism,
Yeah, I don't want to
amillennialism.
engage on
And
this
so if
subject.
you
Sorry.
are an amillennialist, and I have seen you posture in shows with Jamie, I have seen you trash talk my eschatology and side with Jamie on this issue. So answer the basic question. Who is the he according to you?
Right,
Daniel
and I am
9:27?
going to say this one final time. I didn't come on the panel to discuss Daniel 9 verse 27. I don't really want to engage
because
on
you
that
know that I will absolutely wreck you on this topic right now of eschatology.
Oh, you are a very
and so
small
you don't
man,
want to
not just
admit,
in terms
and
of
so you
stature.
don't want to admit, so you're going to evade a basic question about Daniel
No, I
9:27.
mean, Johnny,
but
it's
when
very
you're
simple.
in a
If I
show,
don't- if I
an
don't wanna
echo
go to
chamber
Costco-
with Jamie
if I don't wanna go to
Russell,
Costco,
you'll
I don't go to
say all
Costco.
day long that the he is the Messiah.
Yeah, if
Justify
I
the
don't want to
he.
go to Costco, I don't do business at Costco. If I don't want to discuss this question with you, I just don't want to discuss it. I don't see why this is hard for you to grasp.
The reason why you don't want to discuss it is the same reason why somebody who believes whales and pine trees are related is in an open mic
Yeah, I don't
discussion
think
with me.
whales and pine
Suddenly, no, I
Sorry,
understand you
Johnny,
don't believe. I am using an
I don't
analog here.
understand how you even have a following, because if this is how you treat people, they're not going to want to come on your panel. I'm
That's
not even here to
because-
talk to you, frankly.
Ryan, the reason why I have a following is because I uphold truth. I hold to sound doctrine. I hold to sound science. You, on the other hand, have sloppy science, sloppy eschatology,
Okay,
sloppy
that's all a
theology,
bunch of
and you're a
posturing
bad
and
debater.
assertion.
So you're 0 for 4, Ryan.
That's a bunch of posturing and assertion, Donnie.
Oh,
Sorry,
really? The one
I'm not going
who
down
won't
the
answer
used
a
car
basic
sales route
question
trying to bully
because
someone
he
into
knows
buying a
when
product
he
you're
answers
selling
that
or
basic
your
question,
channel.
he
I
will
don't
be
care about this.
unable to defend his answer to that basic question.
Johnny, dude, you're making yourself look ridiculous. I'm not even here to discuss this.
So why
I'm
did you join?
interested in what the title
Ryan,
of the video
we've
was.
been talking about Daniel 9 and the he of Daniel 9:27 for the last hour and a half. Why did you join?
I had
if you
no
don't want to talk
idea
about it?
about that.
You were in the chat listening. Why do you lie?
No, actually, I
Ryan?
wasn't really listening. I was just seeing who was on the panel. And
Yeah, I
if it
bet
was
you were,
Daniel,
because you
whatever,
love to
I didn't
gossip,
wanna
you
talk
love
about
the drama, you love the conflict. So you didn't care about the
No,
sophisticated and
so
intelligent
coming in here
conversation
wanting
going
to-
on. You just
since
wanted to
when-
see if there
wait.
was any drama or
I guess you're
conflict,
delusional
because
having a
drama and
wanting
conflict and gossip help you sleep at night.
Donnie, you really are delusional.
Drama queen.
To have a discussion with people is stirring up drama. Are you deluded or are you crazy? I'm not here to start drama.
Okay.
I was just interested in whatever was being discussed.
Yeah, and
Hopefully
what
it
was being
still on the
discussed was
subject of
Daniel
the atonement.
9.
So
What was
taking
being
90
discussed was
seconds
Daniel
to see
9, and you don't
Daniel
want to answer a
being-
question about it.
Yeah, Donnie, bullying people ain't going to work with me. Sorry. I don't really care.
Ryan, we all know you could squat 1,200 pounds. I understand. You're not scared of nobody.
I'm sorry that apparently your bullying tactics don't work. I don't really care what you say or do. I just didn't want to discuss the subject. I'm not under any mandate to discuss anything with you, and I wasn't even here for that. Honestly, the comments
just
I
said
made
you
were
came
just
in.
germane to what
You came
whatever was
in
on
to
the
join in
screen.
on the current discussion. That's the current discussion.
No,
Why don't
I
you
was
want-
actually hoping that the discussion was on limited atonement. I didn't realize it moved on. I guess you don't get taking 90 seconds to look at a screen and say, oh, what are they discussing? Oh, is it the whole Daniel 70 week thing again? and don't really want to talk about that.
You knew that we were talking about eschatology because in the chat, in the live,
I said that I didn't want to discuss the subject. I didn't really pay attention
because you knew that was the subject. You knew the subject was eschatology,
I saw,
which is why you said in the live chat, I don't want to
man.
discuss Donnie's eschatology because
Yeah,
you
I
knew
really
that's what was
don't,
being
Donnie.
discussed.
I prefer not to discuss eschatology with you because it doesn't really interest me.
Ryan, if I held to such sloppy and unsophisticated eschatology as you, I wouldn't want to talk about it either.
So that's
I am asking you a basic question about your eschatology. You don't want to answer it because you know you can't defend it.
I just don't want to talk about the subject. What is wrong with not wanting to engage on a subject? Do you not understand that?
Ryan, you've been brainwashed into amillennial Calvinism, and you don't want to defend it.
I hope you will be consistent and say the same thing whenever Matt Slick or Anthony Rogers come on your channel.
If Matt Slick was on my channel for an eschatology open mic, then guess what? I would ask him the same questions that I'm asking you, because amillennialism is the easiest thing in the world to refute. As a matter of fact, it's easier to refute than pre-tribulation dispensationalism, Ryan.
So you assert you still can't overthrow the Protestant Reformation, but I'm not even here to talk.
I don't care about the Protestant Reformation.
Clearly you don't.
Ryan,
clearly you just care about
Ryan, you blindly believe in this amillennial garbage. You have postured with Jamie because it was an echo chamber.
This doesn't make any sense.
You lobotomized, driveling cretin!
Don't you dare tell me I have no patience, you lying, lobotomized, driveling cretin!
You lobotomized, driveling cretin!
Oh boy, yeah, that's not good for old Graham.
Man,
maybe I should try moving my mic a little closer. There we go. But yeah, I just came in to talk about whatever the original subject was, not whatever PowerPoints were on the screen that I looked at for 90 seconds.
Sorry, Mike.
So either way, who say what? Oh, it's Jason. I see. Well, either way,
it's me, Copper Digger Sport.
Sorry, what now?
I said it's me, Cobber Digger Sport.
I see. I couldn't understand what you were saying from the distortion, but I heard you just said. Well, either way, I guess you must have moved on in subject because I don't have any interest in engaging on.
That's all right. It's Australian, mate.
Hey, Jason, is there any way to? Is there somebody in here that might be a psychological PhD where I could get a psychological eval?
Yeah, quick? You're not going to get into an argument with me, Dave. I don't honestly. I don't.
Doug has an engineering PhD, if that's helpful.
Now that being said, if you're talking about that subject, praise, I was predominantly interested in that.
Sure, man. Like
moved on, then I'm just going to.
We can redirect it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think SFT. I mean, I think maybe Crimson and SFT might have been in a conversation. I'm not sure though.
Ryan, what page of the DSM is clinical insanity? I want to look that up real quick.
Why don't you do that yourself? Because I don't have any qualifications to make diagnoses. And why don't you
did that one day in your video? You said administrator is clinically insane.
Yeah. Why don't you go pick a fight with someone else because you're drunk and or bored, whichever one. I don't. Really
I'm drunk, huh? Is that right? These are not as drunk as you suppose.
I said drunk.
See, it is but a third hour of the day.
I'm being drunk on amillennialism.
It's only the third hour of the day, Ryan. It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, Dave, did you know that? Dave, did you know that we've been in the millennial reign since the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, and Satan's been bound for the last 2,000 years? Did you know that? Did you know that Satan's bound currently in the bottomless pit? So
and again,
I thought we were I thought we were preterists. We were beyond that, even beyond
the irony is that I don't want.
You know what? As a matter of fact, I don't want anybody to take me out of context there. So I have to put it as I was joking. I don't believe in such nonsense that we are in the millennial reign. Ryan, I thought you didn't hold the
I don't know why you're getting all of that. Again, this is why people don't go to your panel. You misrepresent narratives on a talking point and then try to bully them into a conversation. I don't have any interest in that. Sorry. No, thank you. I guess then the topic is no longer on limited atonement, which I was actually interested in discussing. So maybe I should just see my way out. I mean, I'm not going to try to hijack Praise's panel.
So
You mean
Big
you
Bad
wouldn't stand
Mama,
having done all the stand for the Westminster Confession?
Big Bad Mama in the chat said
Dumb.
SFT. That's crazy talk, and that exactly. I need to make a disclaimer. I was being sarcastic because there's some people out there, cough cough, Ryan, who actually believe that we're in the millennial reign, guys. Satan
Well,
is
and so did John
bound,
Calvin, so did
and
Savonarola, so did Luther. So
red
I guess,
herring,
you know,
logical
crazy.
fallacy. You can't listen. You can't defend your sloppy garbage eschatology. You don't
Nor
know
can
how to
you
read a
defend what you
basic
believe
chronology in Revelation. And Ryan, all you can do is join an echo chamber with Jamie and talk
Again,
all about how the
all
key of Daniel
assertion and posturing,
9:27
dude. You're not
is
actually making
Messiah.
the point.
But now when you're
You're
being pressed, you don't want to answer basic questions.
Because I don't want to talk about the subject. And evidently that's too dense for you to get. I just don't care to talk about the subject, Donnie. I know
Ryan,
you want to talk about it, but I don't really. So guess what? I guess I came in at the wrong time. I guess the subject.
you really did, Ryan, come in at the wrong time. So maybe you should
And by the
click
way, the subject
leave
was on the
studio.
atonement. So I didn't come in here grandstanding about an issue that didn't have anything to do with the stream. So I guess maybe I should come in another time. Oh well, big whoop.
Let's read the Westminster Confession tonight.
I'm challenging
I
Ryan right now to a formal debate on his garbage eschatology. Specifically, is there a future Daniel 70th week? I'm challenging Ryan right now to a debate because you know what? Proving a future 70th week of Daniel destroys all millennialism. Showing that Satan is not bound. Pray, share my screen real quick. I want to show what a joke, what an absolute joke all millennialism is. Notice here, Revelation 19. We're taught that this is, listen here, guys. Revelation 19 is after your trumpets, after your vials, after the sun and moon went dark in Revelation 6. It's after your great multitude. It's after your seals. It's after the world was at war. Praise, notice this. And the beast was taken. This is after Jesus comes on a white horse with us. And this is where he throws the beast, the Antichrist, and the false prophet, which he deceived. This is, look, mark of the beast. This is in the end stage of the worldwide mark of the beast. And them that worshipped his image, these were both cast alive into the lake of fire, burning with brimstone. Guys, that all happened, according to Ryan, that all happened in 33 AD or 70 AD, because we're in the millennial reign. Or they'll say, no, this didn't happen yet. But going to the very next chapter in Revelation 20, which starts with the word and, okay, grammatically, we understand this is a chronology. What happens after Revelation 19? After the beast and the false prophet are cast into the lake of fire, what happens? Saw an angel come down from heaven. It's continuing. Praise. You're good at this kind of stuff. When were the chapter breaks? Are the chapter breaks in the Bible, are they inspired scripture? Revelation 19, Revelation 20, or were they not added in after the fact?
I would say that they were added in after the fact.
Right. Yeah. Your chapter breaks were not original scripture. Those were added way after the fact, just to help organize thoughts and stuff. Well, unfortunately, people don't recognize that. And so when people end a specific chapter, right, Matthew 24, for example, they're like, okay, we're done. Nothing else to see here, folks. It's like, no, the Olivet Discourse continues into Matthew 25. There's certain spots where they added a chapter break that they shouldn't have, because it kind of screwed up the flow of it. And so Revelation 19 doesn't end at the end of Revelation 19. Those chapter breaks were added after. But you're all millennialists like Ryan here, who refuses to defend his position here in a discussion. He has to say, oh, well, these events of Revelation 20, this occurred in 33 AD when Jesus, rose from the dead and defeated Satan spiritually, essentially. Well, notice this, Revelation 19, where Jesus came on a white horse.
Would you debate Anthony Rogers or Matt Slick on this topic?
Well, if Anthony Rogers or Matt Slick wanted to debate, is there a future Daniel 70th week? But I mean, even they would admit that that's not really their specialty, eschatology. Right? I've never seen Matt Slick or Anthony Rogers posturing in a show like Ryan did on Jamie's show. He was calling, he was basically trash talking my eschatology. He was, Donnie's eschatology is just the same as, Kent Hovind and this person and that person. And it's like, dude,
they reconcile these things if they push that all the way back 1,000 years or basically at the start of the church age. How do they
some of them 3 AD.
I gotcha. Yeah, it's
the time of Nebuchadnezzar, Antichrist. In the midst of the week, he continues in power for 42 months. And it's, is it Romans 11? Romans 11 or 9, where the beast and the false prophet are thrown in a lake of fire.
In which the Gentiles are being exposed to the covenant.
Be peace and safety for that.
Anyone who believes in Jesus, the same as
the birth of Christ. And she brought him in as representing Eve. And so I wouldn't be totally against it, since you did bring up some worthwhile points. And it falls right in line with your shadows, right? Because sometimes we have a triple prophecy. Agree that you had your 7-year Jewish Roman War, 66 to 73. They would all agree that command. A lot of just even your secular historians, they'll agree. Okay, there was right here. 70 weeks are determined, and okay. So anyways, a long
look at these. I will go back into the stream and I will get all this stuff that you're saying. Just a couple years or whatever. Have you got a rough date or year that you think these end times are actually going to come?
No, because it doesn't tell us when it starts. It gives us signs. It tells us what to look out for, and then we'll know. Okay, we're in that final 7 united front. One world currency, cashless society. I mean, would you populate it, right? Today it is. So if we had another Roman, and you can't buy or sell, the only ones you can buy or sell are those with the mark.
But, some could be made to look as if this is what he was talking about, when as precise or as accurate as your
the moment. Well, 3.5 years in, that's.
And it's not working out real well for the globalists.
To it happening, then I've got to accept that.
Fascinated before I was a Christian.
James is tired, came in. Okay.
Like, I haven't seen you around lately. Just a bunch of stuff going on in the hangout or whatever. I forget the name they call that thing.
It's the Clubhouse app, but
Clubhouse, yes.
Yeah, I've been avoiding it for a little bit. I do some stuff still on Clubhouse, but I've been trying to set up debates and content for the channel. Like I have Matt Dillahunty debating the Muslim metaphysician.
It wasn't World War II, by the way. It was Korea.
My God. Yeah, that is awesome, man. Wow, Matt Dillahunty, amazing.
Yeah, and he's debating the Muslim metaphysician on does God exist, and so this is going to be a fun conversation. And as a Christian, I just get to sit back and watch our Muslim friend debate our atheist friend.
Yes. Well, I'm going to predict what's going to happen. Jake's going to destroy him with metaphysics. It's just going to be a total blowout because Jake is a beast with metaphysics. So I'll just put that's my prediction anyway. But Jake isn't too thrilled about me, though. So that one's probably eroded away me and him on a Trinitarian metaphysics, or the metaphysics of the Trinity. Yeah.
Why is that, Praise? Why isn't he like you?
Because me and him threw down and it got heated and stuff, and sometimes I come
What a
across.
talk! What a talk! How many times have you and I had arguments? I mean,
Yeah,
come
exactly.
on.
Well, I don't know about I don't know, because Jake is a very smart fellow, but yeah, it's unfortunate. Like, me and him kind of, I don't know. Maybe he would be open for like a Trinitarian debate on your channel, James. What would you think about that?
I'd probably host a Trinity debate. It just depends on the Christian who's defending it. I would need to sit down with them and make sure that they have a good view. Not that Christians don't, but a lot of the lay Christians are just comfortable with the being person, and they don't really go further. But if you debate certain people on the Trinity, you have to know whether or not you're going to defend a model, like relative identity, social Trinitarianism, or Latin Trinitarianism. And all three can go different directions. So, but I'd be open to it depending on who's debating. Yeah.
Well, I think me and you were talking to Jake, and he says he doesn't want to debate me because he thinks I need to get more intricate. But I think I was intricate. I was getting in detail with him, and I thought I explained I thought I defended my position amply. I bet maybe he disagrees. That's fine. So it would have to be like some type of persuasive power. But I did talk to Khalil, and he came in here one time, and he says he's going to try to get it to happen. So I don't know. I mean, it hasn't happened yet with Khalil. So, whatever.
Anyway, I'm going to have to jump out because I've got some things to do. The wife's at work, and I need to get some housework done before she gets home, or my life won't be worth living.
God, come on, brother.
All right, Paul, take care, my friend.
Paul, before you go, can I just say real quick?
Good on you, man. Housework's harder than actual work, I tell you. I've done it, mate, and I prefer to work at an office job, mate, than working cleaning the house and looking after the house.
Paul, before you go, I just wanted to say real quick, I appreciate the fact that you've shown a degree of open-mindedness in being willing to investigate the issue of prophecy further. An example that I wanted to, two examples that I wanted to give just quickly to respond to the idea that some of the prophecies were self-fulfilled, which is a reasonable suspicion, by the way. I consider that possibility as well. But when you take that to the logical conclusion point, it wouldn't work for some of the prophecies. One would be the prophecy about Cyrus, that he would be the anointed, meaning the chosen one of God, to fulfill his will for the future of the nation of Israel. And this occurs in Isaiah chapter 45, and he's first mentioned in chapter 44, but it goes on. And Cyrus was later...
Do you notice I don't cut in that much? Because I'm absolutely clueless on this. Sorry, man, for cutting you off.
No, that's right. So Cyrus was born approximately 150 years after this was written in the book of Isaiah, and he fulfilled prophecy down to the T about that. Now, and later on, in the case of the prophecy against the island city of Tyre, how Nebuchadnezzar did his part, and later on, the Alexander the Great did his part. Kept throwing the rubble and the debris from old Tyre on the mainland into the ocean to build that bridge, the causeway to the island city. The explanation of self-fulfilled prophecies can't apply to these, because then you'd be saying that these people who do not speak the Hebrew language and furthermore do not believe in the Hebrew deity took the time to learn Hebrew language, took the time to read the prophecy, and for some strange reason had the compulsion to fulfill them as if to uphold their deity. It becomes absurd. So I just wanted to give you that. And
there was 70.8 trillion cubic feet of natural gas discovered in Ukraine. If Ukraine had pulled that 70.8 trillion cubic feet of natural gas out of the ground in the east of Ukraine, right, they would have absolutely buried the Russian economy, buried it, like destroyed it and buried it. Russia would just
still have the identity as praise, but you are not identical to yourself today as you were yesterday.
Yes, but does that sound so familiar? Is that from Brian Leftow? Didn't Brian Leftow make that argument, or is that where?
I'm not sure, because
Okay.
then they'll get into things like a clay statue. So the lump of clay has the same properties as the statue, and the statue, when it's demolished, still has the same properties, but there's different forms. And so then you can get into like the Trinity, where the Father, Son, and the Spirit indwell one another. Now, I know I'm throwing like a lot of concepts hard at the audience, but there's things and ways to conceptualize the Trinity that I never even dreamed of. And so I almost fell into the issue of wanting to throw the Trinity out and assume it's an automatic logical contradiction without really digging in. And then when you look at Christian philosophy, they're not saying it's a logical contradiction.
3,600 Russian soldiers dying on the front line every day. How evil is that?
Oh, who is that guy?
There's 3,600 soldiers, Russian soldiers, dying on the front line every day, not to mention the Ukrainians. And this prick went in there to take their riches. Nothing to do with buffer zones. What's he going to do? He's going to take Ukraine, turn Ukraine into Russia, right? So then,
Jason, come on,
take another country to create
right
another
in the
buffer
middle of a
zone.
conversation, man. Like, come on, that's rude.
The Soviet Union. I lived through it. I'm old enough to have lived in with the Soviet Union when I was a kid. So I know about the Soviet Union. I know about Putin.
Bye-bye. He's not going to... I mean, that's just so disrespectful, man. Like, respect the guests and the interlocutors in the chat. Like, seriously, Jason, come on, man. That's just so disrespectful. Sorry about that, James. My gosh.
No, you're good. It's just I figured we'd run over a few points and then encourage the audience to dig into the Trinity, and also dig into the incarnation, because that's the second part that Islam likes to target. Pray over these things. But yeah, that Jason guy definitely threw me off my rhythm. I wasn't listening to you, and you're the host.
Yeah, he loves just blurt things out, and like, I mean, we let him get away with it, like, for the most part. But to me, the Trinity is a serious topic, and I take that's something that's very important to me and critical of my faith. So I mean, and you were actually bringing up great points that I was actually going through myself when I was in my defense of the Trinity. So I was like, oh, come on, Jason, let me listen, man. I wanted to see what James was saying here, because I wanted to implement it in my defense of the Trinity. But yeah, great points, man.
Yep, I'm trying to get another video edited out where there is a Christian brother of mine who was running another concept when it came to counting, and he ran it by Venus, who's an atheist debater on Clubhouse. The guy's fierce. He's tough. And Venus admitted that his conception of the Trinity has no logical problems.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So is Darth back? Because I seen you put a video up with him and I forget the guy's name now, but like you is like Matt. Yeah, it was Matt. So is Matt and Darth like getting back together or something, or what's going on with all that?
It was a big blowout. And in that video, I cut clips of, you remember the Spaceballs movie?
Yes.
I cut some clips of Darth Helmet in the video. And it's just literally, Matt is making a point, and he's trying to explain to Darth that he had a conversation with Brenda where he had taken Brenda to task. Darth doesn't want to find out about the conversation. Darth over-focuses on the fact that Matt Adams said her instead of him and wants to lecture him about it. And then Matt blew up on Darth, and it just went downhill from there.
So Darth, I thought he was officially like outcasted from the community, yeah, and looks like he's still around. So like, does he make his rounds in Discord still, or the clubhouse? Like, where is he?
He's in Discord, but the problem is that like he has all these people where he's like, if you host James is Tired, I'll never speak to you. If you host Praise
Yeah.
I Am, I'll never speak to you. If you host Tom Rabbit and such, well, by the
Right,
time he's
right.
listed like 50 people, technically Darth shouldn't have anywhere to go other than his own room. But this is like restrictions that he's put on himself. Like I, as a Christian, recognize that Darth is a Christian, and I would still like have Darth within the community. But that doesn't mean that when you say something racist, that I'm not going to say it's racist. I have to. In the same way, Praise, that if I say something that is really stupid as a Christian, you should point out
Right.
that stupidity. Now, first try to do it in private, but if my pride and arrogance gets the better of me, then you pointing it out publicly is something that needs to be done, because you have to distance yourself and your ministry from the actions and the inappropriate nature of those actions that others do.
Absolutely right, spot on. And that actually happened with Smokey Saint. Smokey Saint, like he was fairly informed, he was, pretty intelligible with things, good arguments, but he was an absolute a-hole to people the way he treated them. He would, use derogatory terms, he would bully them, and just not even come close to the Christian way of living, or Bible prescribes us how to act.
Yeah, that's a bit rich coming from you, Praise, you piece of crap.
And people are looking at me, why do you associate with Smokey? Because he treats people not like Christ. And I'm like, oh, you're right. So I'm gonna have to call him out. Like after a while, I told him privately, you got to stop doing this. He says, don't tell me what to do. Like he never wanted to be told that. So I made it a public spectacle, and then it became a war after that. But you're right about that. The bad behavior needs to be called out, and Darth does it continually. And people feed into, I think, his narcissistic obsession, where he has to be in control and and bully people and have absolute control. I just think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, have you followed Tom Rabbit's channel recently?
Yeah, I seen some really weird stuff with John, man. Like, it almost made me not want to, not turn to, Tom Rabbit show for a while, because it was so disgusting.
I don't even know if you can. I mean, I don't know how Tom could get this video up, because it's like, well, maybe like he's able to get the content, but it's literally John Lee is talking about when he was not a Christian working in a video store. He called it an act of benevolence. It's talking about paying a prostitute $5.
I know, yeah.
And I was shocked. Like,
that's what I was. My mouth is dropped when I seen it. I mean, even the title itself. What is Tom Rabbit thinking?
And like when Christians typically tell stories about our past and our mistakes, we do it in a remorseful sense. We're not like, it's not like, oh, look at me, look at this this crazy stuff I did. No, it's
right.
I'm an idiot. Don't do this.
Exactly. I didn't hear that for, I don't know if John really put that spin on it, where maybe this was a terrible thing. Please don't do this, people. This is when I was in my depravity or sinful stage. But I didn't, the way I've been reading the comments and stuff, that's not what John did. Like, he was almost boasting in it. But yeah, that is some pretty crazy stuff, man. I don't know what to think about online. It's a lot of sensationalism for sure, though.
Well, it's drama. People figured out a long time ago, Praise, that controversy creates cash. Like, very few people are going to say, hey, James and Praise made some excellent points about the Trinity. But if you went off on me, Praise, and you were just like screaming and hollering at me, that's
Yeah.
going to spread. Like people are going to be, hey, did you see what Praise just did to James? And you see what James just did to Praise? And where's the link
Yeah.
and timestamp? So people like John, I think, tell these inflammatory stories and provocative ways because he knows it's going to get him the attention that he desires.
Yeah, well, Veckel's a follower of John. He likes John, but he says he does it to troll him. What do you think John does that to troll him, or do you think he has an ulterior motive?
I think sometimes he does it. He does it to troll the atheists.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but then again, there's also this part where, and this is a danger that all Christians can fall into. If you're not reading theological books and praying over material and reading your Bible, you could run into dad bod theology, which is where you, as a older middle-aged person, are starting to conceptualize and think of the Bible, and then you start making up your own doctrine. And so John Lee has perfected this ability to change his position in the middle of the discussion and try to make it seem like that was his position the whole time.
I know. He pisses the atheists off. It's so hilarious to watch. He's a pro at it. I have to give him that, man. He is really advanced. That's an advanced skill he has.
Is standing for truth there?
He might be in the future because he's a futurist.
That's funny. I like that segue.
Yeah, I'll have to let me see really quick because we're on WhatsApp. I'll let him come back here really quick.
I was just going to ask him if he's got any debates and stuff coming up on his channel and what was going on.
All right, I said come back to the mic. There we go. Yeah, it's been pretty good debates lately on SFT's channel. A lot of science-oriented debates. Oh, he's upstairs eating. Yeah, he stuffs his face at night. He is pooped out.
Oh,
So
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
It's all good. I can ask him later. I've been trying to do this, get started on this fasting thing that my doctor wants me to